This is Family Therapy Process and Practice. I'm Michael Baltimore. Today we have a couple of the students, and we're going to have more students coming in the rest of the day, just talking a little bit about what important things they've learned, what's caught their attention. We've been throwing a lot of content at our students here. This is a graduate course in family therapy here at Columbus State University, and as I mentioned, there's just a lot of information. We're going from theory to theory to try to help folks understand how to not only understand the conceptual and the intellectual side of family theories, but we're actually looking for the use and the practical side and the utility of these theories as well. So, because these guys, all the students in the class are engaged in practicum and internship at some point in their academic career, and they're really trying to do the very best with the families that they see. What I've been teaching is this notion that these family theories guide you throughout your work in family therapy. So the application is a big important part. Now for today, I'm just curious about what they've learned so far. So that's my question, and what I'm going to ask them to do is just introduce themselves and answer my first question, and we'll go back and forth. And my first question is this. Just give me something that comes to mind about something that's really made an impression on you from the content that we've studied in COUN 7215, Family Therapy Process and Practice. And so, gentlemen, thank you for being here today. You can decide who wants to go first, but your cameras are out there. Okay. Just tell our audience a little bit about something that you have really picked up and it's made an impression on you out of the content that we've studied.
Well, I'll lead the way. My name is Dan Harden. I'm a chaplain with the United States Army at the Family Life Training Center. And one of the things that stood out immediately was the systems focus. Right. My background is in computer information systems, my undergraduate work, and about 12 years working in the industry. Systems thinking is crucial in order to keep a data center up, to plan a data center, to troubleshoot a data center. Right. When there's faults and problems. Got it. Symptoms occur, but you have to troubleshoot that within the concept of the entire system and take the system into account when you're looking for a solution.
So, Dan, you've come in and really had this background in how systems work together, or individual units work together as a system, and that can be applied to the family that you see in counseling.
And not only that, how an individual component of the system can create a fault, but the manifestation of that fault appears somewhere else. So you have to know the whole system in order to come at a proper assessment.
It's very interesting the way you said that, because we talked in class about the notion that presenting problem is not always the problem.
Oh, absolutely.
There's something else there. So the presentation of something that brings a family in, for example, might really just cover, and maybe the location of that true issue is somewhere else within in between people in the family. Very interesting analogy that you bring to this. What else comes to mind?
Another thing that stood out for me was the importance of family of origin, and specifically the power of something like the genogram. That's a particular area of interest of mine. To be able to graphically map out a family's family of origin, and be able to look at patterns, provides an opportunity to ask all kinds of questions. It creates an ability for me to explore things that I maybe wouldn't have permission as quickly to explore. I could point out on the genogram and say, hey, you know, I noticed this. You told me this. Right. Tell me more about that.
So this genogram is a graphic representation of the family and their relationships. And one of the things from the intergenerational model is that patterns repeat themselves in families. And so you can see cycles or patterns repeating. You might, use that genogram first as an assessment tool, but then also perhaps an intervention for the family to
absolutely
look at.
Seen it powerful in that if the immediate couple there is not willing to admit or doesn't like the idea that a pattern is repeating itself, when you can point to something other than them and say, but look at what's happening here, and this is what you came in and said that you're struggling with. Could it be that you're starting to repeat something?
So in pointing those out, I guess as you move toward that, then in therapy and goals and move forward in that it's about empowering the family, giving them some insight and power to make a decision to say, no, we're not going to repeat that pattern. We're going to try something new.
Absolutely.
All right, what else comes to mind? I know
Well,
I'm putting you guys on the spot
that's
today,
all right.
but that's sometimes that's what we do. around here.
I think for me, looking at all the models has been very interesting. It's helped me to see which models stir up an affinity within me. Things, wow, I can really relate to that model, like a emotionally focused couples therapy. Don't know much about it yet, but in the overview,
very interesting model.
in the overview, it seems to be very fascinating. I think at its core, relationships are based on some kind of emotional exchange. And if that's interrupted, if that's blocked, then that relationship is going to suffer. So, especially in my environment in the military, it's important to be able to govern the strong negative type emotions. It's important to be able to share and handle them well in the context of that family system.
It's always a struggle for us managing our emotions, I guess. All right, well, thank you. I want to ask you another one more to give me another one, but first I want to hear from your partner here.
Sure.
Sir, introduce yourself and tell me about what's captured your attention.
Absolutely. My name's Kim Bowen. I'm a chaplain in the United States Air Force. I am with the Family Life Training Center at Fort Benning as well, going through the graduate program. I think, and Dan touched on it here just a minute ago, it's interesting to see the variety of different models, and I think the thing that's really drawn me in as I've heard the